Armed robbery leaves Corentyne roadside vendor in financial hardship. Guyana Times. Bamati Mongru, known locally as Hannah, a roadside vendor from Alness Village, Corentyne, was the victim of an armed robbery late Tuesday evening. Mongru, who recently lost her husband and supports her 2 school-aged children, had her day's earnings and additional funds taken by 2 armed bandits. Around 8 p.m., while attending to a customer, Mongru heard gunshots before seeing 2 masked men approach her. One, armed with a handgun, demanded her cash and forcibly removed her apron, where she had secured her day's earnings. The bandits took a total of $160,000 from her, a mixture of sales and savings earmarked for a local group savings venture. The suspects escaped on foot through a nearby empty plot leading to a back street. A car driver, who had arrived to collect the savings money, attempted to pursue the bandits but lost sight of them. Mongru reported that local police responded quickly to the incident, but the robbers had already fled. Mongru has been a dedicated vendor for over 30 years, and this incident has been a significant financial setback. She explained, "With my husband gone, I depend on my business to support my children and meet daily expenses." The police have launched an investigation into the incident. Dozens of U.S. visas revoked in suspected visa racket involving consultant in Guyana. News source Guyana. The U.S. Embassy in Georgetown has revoked dozens of non-immigrant visas over suspicions of a visa racket involving fraudulent information submitted on behalf of applicants. The individuals affected reportedly used the same visa consultant, a West Demerara-based woman, who is suspected of knowingly providing false information in visa applications. The embassy's Public Affairs Department, while declining to comment on specific cases due to privacy concerns, reiterated its long-standing recommendation that applicants complete their own forms to ensure accuracy. The revocations came to light when several travelers were informed at Chetty Jugan International Airport that their visas were no longer valid and were instructed to contact the embassy. Investigations suggest that the consultant, who offers visa application services, may have ties to an individual associated with the embassy and is believed to have intentionally entered misleading information to increase approval chances. U.S. immigration laws authorize consular officers or delegated officials to revoke visas at their discretion, particularly if the visa holder is found to be ineligible or has provided false information on the application. The U.S. Embassy has warned that fraudulent information in applications can result in permanent ineligibility for a U.S. visa. In a recent statement on its website, the embassy advised applicants to avoid third-party consultants who offer to increase their visa eligibility by entering false details, emphasizing that all visa applicants are responsible for the accuracy of their own information. Affected individuals are now seeking refunds from airlines and travel agencies for unused tickets. Crime Chief Blanhum provides update on abduction cases of Joshua David and Delon Alexander. Newsroom. The Guyana Police Force is continuing its investigation into the unresolved abduction cases of Joshua David and former police officer Delon Alexander, despite intelligence suggesting unfavorable outcomes, Crime Chief Wendell Blanhum disclosed on Thursday. Speaking at the launch of the police force's Christmas policing plan, Blanhum acknowledged the challenges faced by investigators, stating that while intelligence gathered so far has not been promising, the police force remains focused on converting this intelligence into actionable evidence to bring those responsible to justice. He affirmed that authorities are maintaining hope that both men are still alive, although the investigation remains ongoing. The high-profile abductions of David and Alexander have garnered national attention. David, affectionately known as Bricks, disappeared on September 26 while purchasing food outside a Main Street restaurant in Georgetown. Initial police searches, which concentrated on the backlands of Buxton and Annandale, yielded no evidence of his whereabouts. In connection with David's abduction, multiple individuals, including Aaron Aline, known as Katz, Wayne Barker, Damian Barlow, Dwayne Griffith, known as Sheep, Davantai Mars, Alpha Poole, and Osefo Peters, have been charged. They were each granted bail in the amount of $500,000. Similarly, Alexander, a former police officer, was abducted on May 7 in Buxton, East Coast, Demerara, and remains missing. While Crime Chief Blanham refrained from disclosing specific intelligence details due to the sensitive nature of the investigation, he assured the public that every effort is being made to locate the missing men. The presumption of death in common law does not apply until 7 years have passed, allowing hope to remain alive. Corentyne laborer remanded for 2022 murder of ex-convict after 2 years on the run. In News Guyana, Raj Rees, 20, known as Chunu, a laborer from No. 55 Village, Corentyne, has been remanded on a murder charge following his arrest after 2 years on the run. Reese was formally charged at the No. 51 Magistrates Court by Magistrate Tuana Hardy on Wednesday. He faces charges for the alleged murder of Akash Pekia, also known as Logu, an ex-convict who was found dead in May 2022. Reese was not required to enter a plea due to the indictable nature of the charge and has been remanded until his next court appearance on December 11, 2024. He was apprehended in his home village on Sunday after evading authorities for over 2 years. The murder investigation dates back to May 2022, when Pekia's body was discovered near the No. 55 cemetery shortly after his release from prison. Following the incident, police took 2 individuals, including one of Pekia's cousins, into custody for questioning. Authorities suspected that Pekia may have been killed elsewhere, with his body later abandoned near the cemetery. Pekia, who had previously escaped custody in August 2021 while being held on a larceny charge, was released on bail just weeks before his death. 2 other men, Derek Sugram, 21, and Radesh Thaman, also known as Bangali, 20, both laborers from No. 55 village, Corentyne, have also been charged in connection with Pekia's death. The case continues to be closely monitored as authorities pursue justice for the victim. Region 1 resident sentenced to 12 years for attempted murder. Big Smith News Watch. Nigel Abrams, a 32-year-old resident of Blackwater, Northwest District, Region 1, Barimaweni, has been sentenced to 12 years in prison following his guilty plea to attempted murder. The sentence was issued on Monday in the Demerara High Court by Justice Peter Hugh. Abrams admitted to the charge of wounding 19-year-old Ron Moonsamy with intent to murder him during an incident on April 17, 2022. The altercation occurred during a social gathering with his 17-year-old stepson, Daniel Wilson, and Wilson's cousin, Ron Moonsamy. An argument escalated between Abrams and Wilson, leading to violence, and when Moonsamy intervened to protect his cousin, Abrams stabbed him in the chest, causing critical injuries. Justice Hugh initially postponed sentencing to consider a probation report, victim impact statements, and submissions from both prosecution and defense on aggravating and mitigating factors. Prosecutor Caressa Henry represented the state, while defense attorney Madan Kisoon represented Abrams. Moonsamy survived the assault after emergency care, but Wilson did not survive his injuries. Abrams is also awaiting a separate trial for the alleged murder of his stepson, Daniel Wilson. Man remanded for attempted murder of 74-year-old wife in Georgetown. Kaider News. Keith Williams, a 60-year-old taxi driver, has been remanded to prison after being charged with the attempted murder of his 74-year-old common-law wife, Deanna Bourne. Williams appeared before Acting Chief Magistrate Faith McGusty at the Georgetown Magistrates Court, where he faced charges of unlawful and malicious wounding with intent to murder. Williams did not enter a plea and has been ordered to remain in custody until his next court appearance. The incident reportedly took place on November 10, 2024, at the couple's residence on El Dorado Avenue in South Ruimveldt. According to police reports, Williams and Bourne had been in a common-law relationship for over 4 decades. On the day of the incident, an argument ensued after Bourne initially refused to allow Williams into their home. Their granddaughter eventually opened the door, after which Williams reportedly entered Bourne's bedroom, leading to a confrontation. Following the argument, Williams allegedly retrieved a cutlass from his vehicle and returned to Bourne's bedroom, where he inflicted multiple wounds to her body and face. Bystanders apprehended Williams, still holding the weapon, as emergency services arrived to transport Bourne to the Georgetown Public Hospital Corporation, GPHC. She remains in critical condition, unable to speak due to a severe injury to her face. During police interviews, Williams reportedly admitted to wounding Bourne and claimed to have been under the influence of marijuana at the time, stating, "I was smoking Molly." Williams is scheduled to reappear in court on December 18, 2024, for further proceedings. Corentyne dog killing case dismissed following apology from defendants. In a recent hearing at the No. 51 court in Corentyne, Burbus, the case involving Kemraj Ramdas, 71, a U.S. citizen, and Farah Jarawan, 25, a local carpenter, who were charged with the killing of a dog, was dismissed following an apology to the dog's owner. The 2 men, residents of No. 63 and No. 64 villages in Corentyne, had been charged under Section 176, 1A of the Summary Jurisdiction Act. The case, overseen by Magistrate Tuana Hardy, involved the October 11 incident where the defendants allegedly killed a dog belonging to Gomatai Coardio of No. 63 village. After the prosecution presented its case, Attorney-at-Law Rodwell Jagmahand informed the court that both defendants were prepared to accept responsibility and apologize. Following this, Magistrate Hardy invited Ms. Coardio to the witness stand, where she accepted their apology, requesting that the defendants also apologize formally to the court. Upon the defendants' expressions of remorse to both the owner and the court, Magistrate Hardy dismissed the case. When the case was initially brought to court on October 16, the magistrate informed the defendants that the charge could result in a 6-month jail term or a $15,000 fine. They were granted pre-trial release on $120,000 bail each, with Ramdas required to surrender his U.S. passport. Injured Bandit released on $1 million bail. Frederick Boyce, a 40-year-old painter from Melanie Village, East Coast Demerara, has been granted bail in the amount of $1 million after being charged with multiple offenses, including robbery under arms, illegal possession of a firearm and ammunition, and discharging a loaded firearm. The charges stem from an incident on October 21, 2024, at Tech Guy Solution, a store in Kitty, Georgetown, where Boyce allegedly used a firearm to rob two individuals, Ronique Mohabir and Dominic Narayan, each of $10,000. During the robbery, Boyce reportedly discharged a loaded firearm at the victims. Narayan, the store owner, managed to fire 2 rounds at Boyce, hitting him in the abdomen. Boyce retaliated, wounding Mohabir in his left hand. The altercation ended when a nearby police officer, Corporal Grumble, intervened, seizing Boyce's weapon and assisting the victims. Despite objections from the prosecutor, citing Boyce's 2019 conviction for similar offenses, Principal Magistrate Faith McGusty granted bail due to Boyce's injuries. The breakdown of bail included $150,000 for illegal firearm possession, $150,000 for ammunition possession, $200,000 for discharging a firearm at Mohabir, and varying amounts for robbery charges. Boyce, who was treated for his injuries and discharged from a hospital on November 8, denied the charges and claimed that video evidence of the incident was camera tricks. He is scheduled to appear in court again on December 4, 2024. Sisters charged in assault and unlawful wounding case of 2 teenagers. Kaider News, 2 sisters, 31-year-old Tamara Charles and 29-year-old Yola Charles, appeared before the Georgetown Magistrates Court on Wednesday to face charges of assault and unlawful wounding involving 2 teenage girls. The alleged incident occurred on August 31, 2024, at Lot 910 Rosemary Lane, South Cummingsburg, Georgetown. Tamara Charles is charged with assaulting her cousin, 14-year-old Jamaki Favorite, while Yola Charles faces charges of unlawful wounding of 14-year-old Destiny Favorite, Jamaki's cousin. Both sisters pleaded not guilty before Principal Magistrate Faith McGusty. According to police, the altercation began as a verbal dispute between Tamara and Jamaki, escalating to physical assault when Tamara allegedly struck Jamaki several times. The incident was reported to the Water Street Police Outpost, leading to Tamara's subsequent arrest and charge. In a separate confrontation, Yolet reportedly struck Destiny multiple times with a wooden object, causing injuries, including damage to her left ear. Police arrested Yolet following the incident and charged her with unlawful wounding. During Wednesday's court session, the prosecution did not object to bail, but both defendants were placed on a peace bond. Tamara was granted bail at $10,000 and Yolet at $30,000. The case is scheduled to continue on November 20, 2024. Guyana Power and Light, GPL, signs contract for rental of second power ship to enhance national grid capacity. News source Guyana. The Guyana Power and Light, GPL, company today announced the signing of a significant contract with the joint venture car power ship Global DMCC and UCC Energy International LLC JV for the rental of a second power ship. This additional power ship, with a total installed capacity of 75 megawatts MW, is contracted for a 2-year period to support Guyana's growing electricity demands. The new power ship will be positioned in the Demerara River, delivering 60 megawatts of power to the national grid within approximately 6 weeks, with an additional 15 megawatts to follow once an extra transmission line is completed. Under the terms of the contract, GPL will pay the joint venture a monthly charter fee of 8.52 US cents per kilowatt-hour and an operation and maintenance fee of 0.98 US cents per kilowatt-hour based on generated electricity. GPL will also provide heavy fuel oil, HFO, to operate the generators. Mr. Kesh Nandlal, head of GPL's Executive Management Committee, emphasized the importance of this new agreement in strengthening the company's power generation capabilities, highlighting that the power ship is anticipated to connect to the national grid by December. Antonio Neto, UCC Holdings Managing Director of the Americas, reaffirmed the joint venture's commitment to meeting the project's deadlines, underscoring the urgency in connecting the power ship to the grid. Minister within the Ministry of Public Works, Diadit Indar, who was present at the contract signing, spoke on the vital role this powership will play in managing increased energy demands and highlighted the importance of proactive maintenance to minimize power outages. Senior Minister with responsibility for Finance and Public Service, Dr. Ashni Singh, also attended the event, noting that the additional power supply is essential to support the country's immediate energy needs. This new powership will supplement the first rented powership based in the Berbice River, marking an essential step in GPL's strategy to expand and stabilize Guyana's energy infrastructure. Public servants and pensioners to receive $100,000 cash grant by November's end, announces President Ali. President Dr. Mohammed Irfan Ali has announced that a one-time $100,000 cash grant will be distributed to pensioners and public servants before the end of November. Speaking on the new television program, In the Seat, on Wednesday, President Ali shared details of the grant distribution process, aimed at providing financial relief and support for citizens nationwide. To ensure a streamlined and effective distribution, President Ali confirmed that data collection training has already commenced, and a newly implemented software application is in place to gather the necessary information. The system's efficiency allows for prompt distribution, with President Ali remarking, "Tomorrow morning, you can cut the check for all of them, because the system is right there." Over the coming weekend, a team will be deployed to Region 9 to facilitate data gathering and registration, utilizing an electronic system to expedite the process. President Ali noted that the app will be operational in Region 9 this weekend to support transparency and efficiency in the rollout. He emphasized, "In the hinterland regions, we aim to complete the process as early as possible, ensuring citizens receive their funds before Christmas." This $100,000 grant is in addition to the annual salary increase for public servants, traditionally announced in December, which remains unaffected. "We don't take away benefits, we provide additional support," President Ali stated. The public servants' increase will come separately from this $100,000 cash grant. The grant initiative, first announced in October, represents an investment of over $60 billion, infusing the economy with disposable income to benefit households across Guyana. This measure targets societal vulnerabilities, with the goal of fostering relief and prosperity for all eligible citizens. For Guyanese citizens living abroad, those holding a valid national ID card and aged 18 and above will also be eligible for the cash grant. However, they must complete their registration within Guyana, as overseas payments will not be available.